Okay, so before we resume with Yesodei Torah 9, we're starting with the mitzvah about listening to a navi, which is Sefer Mitzvot Kuf Ayin Beis. I am using the correct translation of the Prophetic. Not that the other one's incorrect, but this is the best.
Wait.
Kuf Ayin Beis and Asays?
Yeah. Kuf
Ayin Beis, right?
Yeah. That's the final.
There you go.
Yeah.
Simple mistake. All right. Hamitzvah hashdaim v'shivim u'mea, 172nd mitzvah. Hatzivu shnitz tavinu lihisha mea. I don't know that conjugation. I would think lishmoa, but to be obedient, I guess. L'chol navi mina neviim alehem hashalom. To be a navi to every navi of the neviim, peace be upon them. L'kayim kol ma sheyitzaveh bo, and to fulfill everything that he commands us in. Even if he commands us to transgress one of the mitzvos or many of the mitzvos of these mitzvos, as long as it is temporary. Not that we should eternalize an addition or a subtraction, like we explained above in our commentary on the Mishnah. And the phrase in the pasuk that said this tzivui, hu amro yis'aleh, is what they said. Ilav tishma'un, to him shall you obey, or shall you listen. Lashon sifrei,
meaning that's the parameter of only if they don't like make a permanent change.
No, I think that's the mitzvah.
Okay.
That's the tzivui. I don't think there's a pasuk for the parameter.
Oh yeah, I think there's a drasha on this.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. I mean, that's not what he's saying. At least,
yeah. I wasn't sure if he was making the point about the drasha or if he was.
Well, let's see. Yeah, maybe he does say that now. V'lashon sifrei, ilav tishma'un afilo amar lach lav ra'achas mikol mitzvos hamoros b'Torah l'fisha. Is that the one you're thinking of?
No, I think it's a lav tishma'un below, like if they make a permanent change.
Oh, okay, right. So this teaches you that you should listen to him even if he tells you to transgress any of the mitzvahs of the Torah. But over on mitzvah zo, one who transgresses this mitzvah, meaning the mitzvah of listening to a navi, chayav misa b'dei shemayim, is liable for death at the hands of heaven. Yeah.
Wait, is it this mitzvah of Teriach or the tivoi of the navi? Like what?
It's both, right? If you transgress his mitzvah, then you're violating this mitzvah of Teriach. Yeah. V'zehu amro yis'aleh v'haya ha'ish asher lo yishma el divarai asher yidaber b'shmi anochi edrosh me'imo. This is what Hashem said, and it will be that the person who does not listen to the words of that navi in my name, or the one who speaks in my name, I will seek him out. Edrosh, I think me'imo. I don't think it's me'amo. Meaning I'll seek him out, meaning God will kill him. So it says in Sanhedrin there are 3 misas b'dei shemayim over al divrei navi. The navi shavar al divrei atzmo v'hakovesh nivuasa. That's the interesting thing. 3 manifestations of this isser. One who transgresses the words of a navi who transgresses his own words, which apparently is a separate lav. That's weird.
Yeah.
And then kovesh nivuasa, someone who keeps in his nevuah. That makes sense that that's a different one. V'kulam mimash nemar asher lo yishma el divarai. All of them come from the phrase "who doesn't listen to my words." Amru karibe lo yishma. These are 3 different vocalizations. You have the footnote. I didn't copy the footnotes. Can you figure it out from there? 52 and 53.
So 52 is Inza Chesron. Sorry, 53 is lo. 53 is lo yishma zeh over al divrei navi. Lo yishamea zeh over al divrei asma. Lo yishamia.
Okay, fine. So it's just starting the word yashmia in 3 ways that imply these 3 things. The Karni Spardin and Mitzvot, the Sof Sanhedrin. Okay.
Cool.
That was that. All right, so let's.
I guess if you don't listen to your own nevuah, it's a different thing of, because I guess when you don't listen to a navi, like someone else's navi, that's like expressing a disbelief in the nevuah itself.
I see what you're saying.
Whereas
You can't consider that if a navi is over on his own word.
Yeah, because he knows.
He knows it, right?
That's funny because that's Then, but is that like a halachic difference? Like it seems like just.
I mean, it is weird that it's a halakhic
Yeah.
difference, but you could see that as being one that is in the realm of like the structure of the halacha
Matches.
yeah, meaning that the nature there's like, I mean, I could also see the one about not obeying the navi being like a problem with like going against the navi's authority, which you're not going to say about the navi violating his own words.
Unless it's going against God's authority.
So it's different then, right? I mean,
Well, maybe they're both a problem.
Right, but in other words, like I can see major systemic problems if people are not obeying the navi. But a navi violating his own nevuah is a different kind of problem. But I'm saying that whatever you say the distinction is, then that distinction is like you get that's built into the structure of the halakha itself. Meaning, I don't think this difference would be enough for us to posit a new halakhic structure. But I think in the structure itself, it makes sense that this is a distinction. Like what I was saying. Yeah. Okay. So we're now.
The law.
Oh, the lav.
Did we do the law?
We did not do the lav. And I didn't take a picture. Why don't you just read it? Is it short enough?
Yeah. The mitzvah ha'arba b'shishin. Torah she'hutarinu shalul nasos.
Oh, that's not in our פירק. That's why I didn't do it.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Sorry, I forgot it's shalul nasos.
Yeah, that's what I was asking if we did.
Okay, yeah, we'll do that before tomorrow, and that way I can.
Okay, fine. Yeah.
That's gonna be in the fair.
That's gonna be in the 10th פירק.
The 10th.
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, I think so. Okay, so פירק 9. Davar barur u'meforach b'Torah shehi mitzvah omedas l'olam u'olmei olamim. It is a clear and explicit statement in matter in the Torah that shehi mitzvah, that it is a commandment. That's the whole Torah. Omedas l'olam. Did I give you the right packet?
I have Shmini and I think the Sefer. Okay. Yeah.
And that it is a commandment that lasts forever and ever. Ein la lo shinui v'lo geiron v'lo tosefes. It doesn't have any change, any subtraction, or any addition. Shneimar es kol hadavar asher anochi metzaveh eschem oso sishmru lazo lo so sefalav lo sigro mimeno. So this matter that I tell you that I command you, you shall guard it to do. You shall not add upon it. You shall not subtract from it. And as it is stated, the revealed matters are for us and our children forever to do all the words of this Torah. I never thought that was a thing for Baal Tosef. I guess that's saying that it's going to last forever, that it's not like nullified.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's not nullified then. So two different things. One is you can't change it, and then the other is that it doesn't what's the word I'm looking for? Not abolish. It doesn't expire. Like it doesn't, there's no expiration date.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, right. Meaning that it would naturally come to an end or something.
Right. Or that God would replace the entire thing, which I think conceptually would be different than like it being modified in particulars.
By
like the system, like God wouldn't give another Torah, for example.
that would be the second
one, yeah.
And the first one.
This one was us changing the particulars of it.
Okay.
In other words, like if you said, let's say you said that the Old Testament is old and there's a New Testament, I wouldn't call that subtracting from Torah. I would call that invalidating Torah. Yeah, and replacing it.
But they'll both be navi.
I think right now it's unclear, right? He's just saying that it can't change.
But the second one, right? But the second one would have to be navi, right? To totally abolish it. Or to expire, that would have to be.
What do you mean it would have to be? Because like Jesus tried doing that.
No, yeah. If it actually happened, it would have to be
presumably,
right? I mean, or like you make some diukim in the Torah itself to show how the Torah itself is like only was given up to a certain point. Which I guess is technically a navi. It's Moshe, but yeah.
Yeah, like if you say this was designed, like if you say the civic mitzvah was like just for getting rid of some sort of huzar practice, and now it's no longer a mitzvah because the practice is gone.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Lamadta shekol divrei Torah mitzuvin anu lasos ad olam. You learn from here that all the words of Torah we're commanded to do forever. Omer, as it is said, he brings another psukim, chukat olam l'dorotechem, an eternal statute for your generations. V'nemar lo b'shamayim hi. And it also says it's not in heaven. Ha lamadta she'ein navi rashai l'chadesh davar me'ata. That no navi is permitted to introduce something new from now.
So is that a or a shot? Is that what
I think that is understanding. I think that's Torah Bal Peh. I'm under that impression.
Understanding.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think there's like a cap on what Nevi'im can do.
Through those words or just through?
Like I'm under the impression that Moshe Rabbeinu got the words Lo B'Shamayim Hi, and then he got the explanation that this means that no Navi can introduce something.
Okay.
Yeah, I couldn't tell if you were asking me that in light of yesterday's shiur.
Yeah.
If you were,
But
you were, or
I was, but
because the answers I don't know, but
yeah. No, I also realized that the shiur was about God and
yeah.
about God.
But yeah, but I was asked in the shiur about halachic drashos, and I said I don't know.
Okay.
What do you say?
I don't really understand how word Lo B'Shamayim Hi correlates this explanation. Like what's
I think what it means is that the Torah is now no longer in heaven, meaning that prophecy cannot change Torah anymore.
it's fixed.
It's fixed, meaning that is what?
It's now on the earth.
Yeah, right. Meaning Moshe got it from Shemayim, but then now in the Torah itself, it says the Torah is not in heaven, means that nothing that comes from heaven can change Torah. So not Nevuah.
Okay.
Yeah. Were you gonna say something else?
Yeah, it's weird that he like tosses in the Lo B'Shamayim here. It seems like he says "V'chein hu omer kluton dorotechem v'ne'amar Lo B'Shamayim." Like it's
Lo B'Shamayim Hi. Well, to me, Lo B'Shamayim Hi sounds a lot more prominent. But then he introduces it by V'chein hu omer kluton dorotechem.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, if it was like separate statement, like become navi, you know.
Right. And the weird thing about Hilchos Olam is look where it's from. Yes and no. It's from many places.
Oh,
right. It's not about Torah. It's about particular mitzvos. You know, so like it's not as clear. Like all these other statements are really about all of Torah. You know, but like fine. So you say like the Korban Pesach is a Hilchos Olam. So does that really mean the whole Torah is not going to change? Like
yeah, and the fact that it actually says it by a lot of specifics.
That would imply, if anything,
yeah.
Otherwise,
yeah,
like that one is forever, but this one is not. Yeah. To me, that's the one that sticks out is the Hilchos Olam L'Dor Seifim, or the V'chein hu omer Hilchos Olam L'Dor Seifim.
I guess it's like in a vacuum, it's the clearest.
Yeah, because it's Olam. Yeah. Yeah. What did the other ones say? Didn't they also use Olam? Ad Olam.
I think Berman said something.
I don't know.
Oh, you didn't get it.
I didn't get that far.
until eternity.
Now there's another book in line. Yeah. Lefika, therefore, in Yamod Ish, Bain Yisrael, Bain Min Ha'umos. So therefore, if a person arises, whether from the Israel or from the other nations, V'yata Othumofis, and he does a sign and a wonder. V'yomar, and he says, She'Hashem Shlacho Lahosiv Mitzvah. He says that Hashem sent him to add a mitzvah, or legrow a mitzvah, or to take away a mitzvah, or lefarish b'mitzvah min mitzvos peir shelo shamanu Moshe, or to explain in a mitzvah one of the mitzvahs, an explanation we did not hear from Moshe. Osh amar she'otan mitzvos shenistavu b'hen Yisrael inan olam l'doros, or that these mitzvahs that the Jews were commanded in are not forever and for all generations. Ela mitzvos lefi zman hayu, but they were just for a certain time. Harizet nevi sheker, that is a false prophet. Shehare ba lahachachish Nivu'aso shel Moshe, because he came to undermine the prophecy of Moshe. Umisasa b'chenek, and his death is by strangulation. Al shehezid l'daber b'shem Hashem asher lo tzivahu, over the fact that he was brave, he intentionally was brazen in speaking in the name of Hashem something that he didn't command. Shehu baruch shemo tziva l'Moshe sha'mitzvah hazos lanu ulevanenu ad olam, and Moshe was the one who was commanded by Hashem that this mitzvah is for us and for our children forever. V'lo ish kel v'chazev, and God is not a man that he would lie. That's interesting. So in other words, what he's really trying to show is that this navi is coming to undermine God. Because Moshe said it's not going to change, and Moshe was told that by God. And yeah.
I like the way that this is worded. It's like he's a navi checker because he's in this, and his death is by strangulation. Not like we kill him. It's just like like almost like it's so obvious that like you just
is that a different way than he usually says? I think he say like misasol biskila, misasol, or does he not? I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe he does.
Yeah. It does have a dramatic pulse to it.
Yeah. Well, it's like dramatically nonchalant, kind of.
Yeah.
It's like
feel like we're darkening poetry in the Mishnah. Yeah. Im Kain, if so, Lama Nemar B'Torah, why was it in the Torah? Navi Akim Lahem Mikerav Acheihem Kamocha. I will establish a navi for them from their brethren like you. And that's talking to Moshe. V'nasati devarai b'fiv, and I will place my words in his mouth. V'diber alehem eis kol asher atavenu, and he will speak to them everything that I command. So that sounds like God's going to make another Moshe. Lo lasos das. Lo lasos das uba. He's not coming to make a religion. Ela l'tzabos al divrei haTorah ulahadshir ha'am shelo yavro la. Rather, he's coming to command regarding the words of Torah and to warn the people to not transgress it. K'moshe amar ha'achron shebehem, as the last of the prophets said, Zifu Torahs Moshe avdi. Remember the Torah of Moshe, my servant. So he's saying, a navi kamocha, not in the sense that you could get the equal nevuah to Moshe, chas v'shalom, but that that he'll play the role of Moshe of warning and enforcing Torah. Okay, yeah. Can we be medayek here that he holds that Malachi was the last navi?
Oh yes.
Okay, because I know that Zachariah, Malachi, and Haggai were all at the same time, but I didn't know who was last.
Oh, it could be. He means like at the end.
Among the last ones,
The
yeah.
latter ones.
Yeah. So too, if you command in optional matters, go to this place. Or don't go. Asum milchama hayam, wage war today. Al tasud, don't do it. Benu chomazo, build this wall. Al tivnu, don't build it. Mitzvah lishmola, mitzvah to listen to him, to obey him. But over al devarav, chayav misa b'dei shemayim, and one who transgresses his words gets death at the hands of heaven. Yeah, there he says chayav misa b'dei shemayim, not misato b'dei shemayim. Shnemar v'haya ish asher lo yishma el devarai asher yidaber b'shmi anochi edrosh me'imo.
It's not being politically nonchalant.
As it is said, that man who will not listen to my words, to the one who speaks in my name, I will seek out from him, meaning his life. So to a navi who transgresses his own words, and one who holds in his nevuah, is liable for death at the hands of heaven. And regarding the three of them, it is said, I will seek out from him. Do you know what case or cases come to mind of a navi who is kovesh nevuah? Yona, is there any other?
I think like Yirmiyahu's going to.
Oh yeah, I mean he was definitely reluctant, and I haven't learned all of Yirmiyahu. So there is a question on Yona. Well, I don't know. That's the gap. But there is a question on Yona though, because like, why didn't God kill him?
Well, right. He threw him in the whale.
But he saved him through the whale, right? He was thrown overboard, and he could have just let him die, you know.
Yeah.
So that's true. But so I think there are probably some who hold that there's some sort of exception with him. Right. You guys realize there's no whale, right? But there's another explanation that he wasn't kovesh nevuato, which is kind of hard for me to buy, but I don't know, because he still violated. Never mind. Forget it. I don't know what. Yeah, he was over. Yeah. No, because the explanation he wasn't kovesh nevuah is the way that they say it is the first nevuah. He has two nevuahs in Nineveh. One is go to Nineveh and call out in the calling that I will tell you. And then when he gets to Nineveh, he says 40 more days Nineveh will be overturned. So there are those who point out that he didn't actually get a message to deliver the first time, so he wasn't being kovesh yet. But that does still seem to be saying that he was.
Yeah, over.
He was not going to Nineveh. He was going the opposite direction.
Yeah, he was over on his nevuah.
Yeah, right.
Well,
I guess. Oh, you can still say, oh yeah, I just want to take the scenic route. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I bet people deal with that question.
Yeah, what would be the problem with saying he was actually over? Like that was.
I mean, it is weird. Then why didn't God kill him? And that's what I'm saying is you could say that God like exempted him.
Yeah, or he knew he was going to do tshuva.
Yeah, but it's just weird though that like you have this isser and like the only example we can think of was an exception.
Right.
I mean, it's not a inherent problem, but it's just kind of weird. Yeah. Like who's the isser for? Exactly a case like Yona, you know?
Right.
Yeah, but he was on the level of
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Very, very short.
He was on the level of being a navi, so he just got to kill him.
You know the side going with that? That's one of the reasons why God lets Nevi'im die, like you would think that Nevi'im would be on a high enough level of hashgacha that he would protect them from stuff. But Sagyun says that God lets a Navi die, sometimes like horrible deaths, because if he protected them, then people would like deify them. You know,
Right.
It's interesting. Yeah.
Oh, that is an outside of Nebuah.
Yeah, keep adding it to the list. All right. You get in the boot, you feel like you're gonna die, you get more death penalties, and then like sometimes you actually die.
Yeah, also lots of death threats.
Lots of death threats, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, I really wish I couldn't. You know.
V'chein im yomar lanu hanavi shenoda lanu shehu navi. Likewise, if a navi who's known to be a navi says to us, "Lavor al ahas mikol mitzvos amoros b'Torah," we're on the next page.
Yes.
Yeah. To transgress one of the mitzvos that were stated in the Torah, o al mitzvos harbe, or many mitzvos, being kalos bein chamuros, whether the light or the heavy, or the strict ones, meaning light ones being, or the heavy ones being the ones that are chayav misa or kares, and the light ones being all the others. Lafi sha'a.
Where has he done that?
No, he hasn't. That's it's interesting. You mentioned that now, right? He says that in Tshuva. Lafi sha'a. If he says to do this temporarily, mitzvah lishma'ala, it's mitzvah to listen to him. So we learn from the Chachamim Harishonim, from the Torah Sheba'al Peh, Bakol, im yomar lecha navi avor al divrei Torah Eliyahu b'har haKarmel shemalo. So regarding all of them, I mean all the mitzvahs, if a navi says to you to transgress the word of Torah like Eliyahu and har haKarmel, which is weird because Eliyahu didn't tell people to transgress Torah, right? He transgressed Torah.
Maybe like to do like what Eliyahu and Har did.
Okay, yeah, could be. Shemalo, listen to him. Chutz me'avodah zarah, except for avodah zarah. Behushi davar lefi shah. That's only if it was temporary. Kagon Eliyahu b'har. Oh well. She kriv ola b'chutz, right? He offered an ola outside of Mikdash. Yerushalayim nibchara. Yerushalayim had been chosen already. V'hamakriv b'chutz chayav kares. One who was makriv outside of the Mikdash is chayav kares. Navi, but because he's a navi, mitzvah lishmo Allah, there's a mitzvah to listen to him. Could be that he holds that he didn't actually do the hakrava, that he commanded others. Yeah, I haven't seen the lashon in a while.
Well, can he also be him listening to his own nevuah?
Yeah, it's weird though.
Right.
Yeah, he could be. Also regarding this, it is said you should listen to him. So you should listen to him means you are in words of. Is this how many categories has he had? The first one is just obeying him. So this is weird. What was the first case of Yelav Tishmaun?
Something that's not over.
You mean more specific?
Oh, something that is irrelevant logically.
I think there's something before that though, right?
Oh,
because you were saying Bays 2. V'cheinim tivanu b'divrei harshus. Is that what you were referring to? Yeah. So the thing is v'chein. Did he quote Yelav Tishmaun before this?
I thought you quoted in the Sefer mitzvahs.
Yeah, because the v'chein is definitely a second case, and the first case is Navi reinforcing Torah. Second case is if he commands us in divrei rishus, and then third case is if he temporarily modifies a mitzvah.
Oh wait, what was this? Maybe.
Well, the first rule that he said that the Navi says is to strengthen words of Torah. Right? He just didn't quote the pasuk of Elav Tishma'un, I don't think. But that is v'chein is adding something in base 2. Right? So the thing that is adding 2 is lo lasos huba ela letzavos al divrei haTorah ulahazir ha'am shelo yavru alaha. That's the primary role. And factually speaking, that is the primary role of the Navi. I mean, look at what the Nevi'im did.
Yeah.
That was that.
Right.
So like that's interesting also that that's a kiyum in the institution of the Nevuah, that you're listening to him like reinforcing Torah. Secondly, if it's in a matter of rishus, that's introducing something of his own. And third one is if he's temporarily suspending Torah.
Yeah, just again like more and more is he like building up the levels of authority of the Navi.
Yeah.
Because first he's coming to do something that it's not like obvious exactly, but like this is like very basic role of like getting people to follow Torah.
Right.
And it's like not only that, but even if he's saying build a wall, you have to build a
Right.
wall.
It's funny because he alluded to this earlier when he was saying the navi can be sent for himself or for other people, but he didn't tell us what the navi does for other people. So now he's telling us what the navi does.
Also, I'm noticing there's a lot of similarities between the power of navi and the power of like the Sanhedrin.
Yes. Yeah. Temporary suspensions,
And like,
protecting things.
yeah, making the comments.
Yeah. No random diversions though.
What?
Right. No random diversions.
Oh, for
I mean, they can do things, but not like go to war today or like build this wall.
no.
Right? I mean, can the Sanhedrin do that?
I don't know.
I have no idea.
I don't think so. I think they can only do takanos and minhagos and
I've never
Torahs.
seen anything about it.
Yeah, like a executive act, like an executive act or something. I don't think so.
That's it.
I don't know though. Okay. Well, I guess executive act is more like a horasha.
Yeah.
But yeah, I meant like. Oh, no, actually, I don't know. Whatever. I'm just like talking like tie your shoes, and if you don't do that, then like you're over on like al piyam mishpash yom l'cha and los asur.
Yeah.
Right.
It sounds like something that a king could do, though.
Yeah.
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 Okay. Yeah.
Can a king do like temporarily uproot a mitzvah?
I don't think so.
Yeah. So like the navi kind of has like some powers of king plus Sanhedrin.
Yeah.
Although I don't know if you can like judge things like.
I don't think the navi can judge things. Right?
Yeah.
V'ilu shalu as Eliyahu, v'amru lo. If one were to ask Eliyahu and say to him, "He'af nakor ma shekas b'Torah lo pentala olosecha b'chol makom." How can you uproot what is written in the Torah, lest your elevation offerings be offered in any place, in every place? Hayomer lo, he would say, "Lo, ela hamakriv b'chutz la'olam chayav kares, k'mo shetiva Moshe. Well, ani akriv hayom b'chutz b'divrei Hashem, k'dei lahachish nevi'ei Baal." He'd say, yeah, no, if you were makriv b'chutz, then that's always chayav kares. But I, like Moshe commanded, but I today was makriv b'chutz in accordance with Devar Hashem to undermine the nevi'ei Baal. Yeah.
They don't understand what his response is. Like, oh, he's saying I'm not uprooting it.
I'm not uprooting it, right?
Yeah.
Why does he have to say this? Like,
Yeah.
Can you just explain that?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I thought it was pretty clear. I didn't need to say it.
Like it's saying, the person's like, why are you undermining it?
Mhm.
He's saying, I'm not undermining it. This is always the case.
Yeah.
But here I'm violating the structure because of this particular
Right.
situation.
Right.
And it seems like he's saying this is a way that you tell whether someone, like this is maybe the way that someone violates this thing
Mhm.
is if he says it in a different way.
Right.
Like the way that he says
I mean, Jesus didn't say this.
Right.
Yeah.
He said,
Yeah.
like, I'm uprooting the whole thing or
Right.
whatever.
Right. Yeah.
He's saying like Jesus would say, it's no longer a thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
Right.
and he's not even saying it's temporarily no longer a thing.
Right. He's saying it's always a thing. Lolam.
Yeah.
Right.
And also, I guess the question is like, what is Shah? Like,
How long is that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's say like 200 years.
Yeah,
something
right.
like that.
Yeah, I wonder that also. Yeah. You know what I found out? Side point, speaking of modifying Torah for generations, I was going over in my Jewish ethics class, we were going over the differences between conservative and Orthodox Judaism. So I did not know this, that when the conservative movement permitted driving, it was intended to be a horasha
Yeah.
to get them to come back. And they said that our goal is to bring it back to full Shabbos observance.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
That went south.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. Yep. All right. That's what happens.
Maybe it has to have like a pace, like a specific.
You have to like
time.
specify. Yeah.
Yeah, like it's gonna end.
Yeah. You know what's funny though? I know this is like this is a whole other sugya, but like the Tekana Shemenu Gershom, right? They say that was for 1,000 years, but like people say it was forever. Like people, I've never heard anyone say that it actually expired.
It did expire.
I've heard it.
Yeah.
It expired like.
But we're not knowing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Which maybe that was his intention.
That's what I've heard, that 1,000 years was in order to specify a time.
But it also created a nihug.
Yeah, it's true. Oh, I mean, his intention was creating, yeah. Yeah, typically if you do something for 1,000 years, then it sticks.
Why say 1,000 years? Why not?
Because if he said it forever, then it would be permanently modifying. Torah.
But isn't that any takana? Like most takana.
Well, the thing is, that's the thing is that he didn't really, it wasn't a takana anyway, right? Because he can't make takanos.
Yeah.
Like actual, like Sanhedrin takana.
So you can make a nihug that just doesn't have an end. Usually
I don't even know what it means to make a nihug. Like I know you can like promote it, but like is that tofes like in halachos construction? I don't know.
Especially because like you can make maybe based enough a town can, that he wasn't like making a takana for his town. He was doing something for the town.
Yeah.
He taught this.
Okay. The al haderech hazot, that's where we're at right now, right? And on this path, im sivu kol navim lavor lefi shah mitzvah lishmo lahem. Therefore, if all the navim, what a day that would be, command us to temporarily transgress, then it's mitzvah to listen to them. Vim amru shadavar ne'akar la'olam. Oh, I know another thing we get out of Eliyahu, by the way, that it's not like the Sanhedrin, or at least the Sanhedrin is doing it of their own volition. The way that he characterized Eliyahu's thing is b'devar Hashem.
Oh.
So does that mean that he got special permission from Hashem, or does it mean that he initiated and Hashem gave him the license? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like the Beis Din has the right to actually, like, on their own, just say, we're going to temporarily suspend something.
Yeah, that's a good point. Also, when Beis Din does it, they might be like temporarily uprooting the structure. Like
Not le'olam.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
But he's
yeah.
not.
I'm saying that
Right.
It's maybe in like not doing like
Like reversibly.
yeah. Because the Beis Din is functioning in terms of like maintain and has control for like the like legal structure.
Right.
Whereas the navi is in terms of the underlying enforcement, the underlying like cause of the legal structure.
Right.
We're saying how Bezin is like able to uproot something.
No, that it sounds like is the one we understand more, which is that, I mean, at least in general terms, like they can just temporarily suspend something. But what we're saying is when Eliyahu decided to challenge the priest of Baal, and he said that I'm going to offer korbanos outside of Mikdash b'devar Hashem. How do we understand the b'devar Hashem? Is he saying that God gave him a specific nevuah that told him he could or should do this? Or is it saying that God gave me license as a navi to violate anything temporarily, and that's the b'devar Hashem?
Oh, you're saying God gave him a general seaboard?
Yeah.
A general like header?
Yeah, like let's say like Moshe breaking the tablets,
Right.
that was his own decision,
Okay.
right? And so like, is that the case here that the Navi has the right to make decisions to suspend things with Isha? And when he said, I'm doing this b'devar Hashem, then that's acknowledging that right? Or is it God commanded me to do this?
And if it is that, then
Which the God commanded me?
the second, sorry, no, the one
I
where
changed the order, so
he's doing it on his own.
yeah,
He's saying it's Dvar Hashem, then wouldn't that apply to all Naviim?
It would, yeah.
Any Navi could
yeah, right,
technically do that.
yeah.
Wait, so that would just mean because I'm a navi, I have to do anything that's necessary? Or
Yeah.
Even if you didn't get it?
Even if he didn't get the nevuah, yeah.
Right, is that what we hold though?
That's what I'm wondering.
That seems
Like that?
unlike, you would have to have had nevuah in the past. Like once you get one nevuah in your life, then you can do this
That's a good question.
whenever you want.
Yeah, it seems.
Yeah, that would be weird. Then he's not. You mean he's not a Navi?
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, you could have had an injunction to do whatever it takes to undermine the
Right.
native law.
Yeah,
That's fine.
yeah, that is weirder though. You're right.
But that wouldn't apply to other.
Right.
Wait, why
Yeah.
wouldn't it apply to them?
Well,
If you
it-
got a
it-
specific nevuah, like you
Oh,
have to
you
uproot
could do
all.
this. Oh,
Yeah.
Elisa runs out.
Right.
You know, I want to do it too. Yeah.
Right, but then at that point, then he's doing it on his own. It's that he got Nevuah to do it.
Right.
Yeah, but
Now
he
it's
might
back
not.
to what Nevuah is.
No, yeah, it will.
Yeah.
But
Well,
the difference is whether he got an injunction, bring korbanos outside in order to uproot them, in order to undermine them, or he
just
could.
uproot him,
Yeah.
and then he does it on his own.
Yeah.
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 Does he? I wonder. Do you know if he talks about this in the Hakdamas of the Ipsum Mishnayos at the beginning? All right, we might need to look at that. That might be a thing we should do later on this week. After we finish Yesodei Torah, because that's really the first time he talks about what rights the Navi has.
in the Haggadah?
Yeah. In the very beginning, yeah.
Okay.
Or not the very beginning, but
Yeah.
towards the beginning, yeah.
Just in terms of the way the Navi's respond to this, I think he's saying like, the person's like there's the person's asking him like, are you like violating the halachic system in terms, like is this functioning somehow in the halachic system? And he's saying no, there's like the halachic system, which is like dependent on God's command, and this is a separate command by God that's overriding it in this situation. is not related to the halachos structures.
Start again. I somehow lost focus in the middle. I lost the beginning.
You can't visualize it. It's too abstract to visualize.
Being bullied. You're gonna get your dessert what you deserve. Yeah.
And then you're gonna really notice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he's just paying me back for
Yeah.
all the aphasia bullying.
Yeah.
Aphantasia. I always call it aphasia. Aphantasia. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm saying there's like the halachic system, and there's like, you can have something where it's like a temporary modification of the halachic system,
Mhm.
and I'm saying that's not happening. This is like, this is a
Olam.
that's olam, and this has nothing nothing to do with like altering that in any way.
Yeah.
There's just a separate command by God that is overriding that,
Mhm.
but I'm still violating that legal structure.
Right. Yeah. It's weird the legend of Oker, Nakar. Nakar sounds like you're modifying the system. Didn't you use that earlier on? Did not.
Okay, with you, Sean.
Yeah, I thought I remember that phrase.
The person saying, "Hey, never."
So it was
That's
the
the
person who
question.
used it?
The
Oh,
question is,
so does he ever say that the navi is Oker? I don't, maybe not.
I think Oker is more permanent.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's why I found it interesting. But if he's just expressing what the person did or said, then yeah,
So
okay,
it's
fine.
really all how the navi frames it.
Mhm.
Like it's if he frames it as being okay or he frames it as.
Well, that's another interesting question, because if we're saying it's true that he has to get a specific nevuah to do this specific lefi shah thing, then really it sounds like the essential thing wouldn't be how he framed it.
Yeah.
It would be whether he's actually like responding to a nevuah to do this or not. It's important for our standpoint how he frames it.
Well, we wouldn't know whether he was actually responding to it.
Yeah, because no one actually asked Eliyahu Navi this question.
Well, even if they did, we would only know. Well, isn't that the whole thing? Like we're trusting that he.
Yeah.
Had a nevuah.
Right.
So,
Right. So then what do you mean when you say it's all in the way he frames it?
well, that was it.
That's right. All right. Okay, can I guess what you were thinking? Get out of my head.
Hearts are mad at you.
Were you thinking about how when the Sanhedrin does something, and
I was kind of it was thinking about that in that context.
because that depends on how they frame it,
Uh-huh.
I think, right? When they add it to Rabbanan, they have to make it clear that they're not adding to Torah
Right.
to get out of Altosif.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it seems like that's what he's like. Why does he have to bring down this conversation?
Yeah.
Right? It seems like that's an important factor.
Well, haven't we answered why he brings it down? Because he's clarifying what is going on when the Navi temporarily suspends something. He's not bringing it down for practical purposes, I don't think.
Oh.
Right. I mean, he's making it clear, like what we were saying, like I almost said Chalev is forever. What did I mean to say? Oh, Hakrava B'chutz. Chalev is forever is like a weird slogan for like the De Beers Chalev company. Yeah. Why did I think Chalev? That's a weird slip. I mean, you do Korbanos. Yeah, right. That's the part of your mockery. That's not a slip I usually go to. Chalev. I really want someone to suspend him as a Chalev. Yeah. I mean, if there's any part of the animal I would want, it would be the Chalev.
Is that the best part?
Yeah, the best fat.
No.
Very small part.
Yeah. This Shumon is
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway,
there
he's
is one bit of the mutter.
Oh, I think I've heard of this.
Yeah, on like the sheep's tail, I think.
Yes, I was going to say the tail fats are supposed to be really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think specifically.
Tail Halia.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Anyway, got me all salivating now.
Should be a movie about like a guy who like does this whole thing, tries to be a navi, like gets all over the top, like gets to like be Oker, like Caleb for a little bit.
Yeah.
Yes, so
it's like tail.
I could have had that. Yeah. Twilight Zone reference. So I'm saying he was bringing this hypothetical conversation to show us what the Navi is and is not doing. Is he's not actually modifying Torah. He's saying that krava bachut is forever, and his chayav kar is forever.
Right.
And he's just doing this with Dvar Hashem. So he's not bringing it down so that we know how to react to the navi, and he's not even bringing it down to say that the navi has to say this to us. Like if that were the case, he would definitely say it.
Right. But it's funny that he already explained all this before.
But haven't we been talking about how this is bringing out new points that he wouldn't have?
Okay.
I mean, you don't have to accept the answer, but you have to accept that we're trying to answer it.
Yeah. So there's this disconnect in my brain.
Okay, so let me try it one more time.
Yeah.
So what would happen if we cut out this halacha, right?
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is that we would not understand the nature of the navi suspension.
Okay. That we wouldn't know that he was doing it. Like he wasn't trying to be okay.
We wouldn't know that we might think that he's temporarily modifying the system, and he's saying I'm not temporarily modifying the system. I'm getting a separate Dvar Hashem that's telling me to do this. It's really like a special case of Elav Tishma'un, but instead of it's up to the navi, it's the navi to Hashem.
Right.
Now Hashem tells all of us, keep halacha, and then he tells the navi, be machiv b'chutz today.
Oh, that's interesting.
I thought that was the whole question we were working on that you forced me to say yes for.
Yeah. That makes sense. Wait. It also reminds me of
So that I'm saying is not
this.
Yeah, because I think that's actually
That's
violating
being
Torah.
fair. That's
I think it's violating. Hey, feru Torah Zacha, that's the phrase. Islas Hashem, hey, feru Torah Zacha.
I see. Right, you're not going to need to see more.
Yeah.
But then it's not violating Torah.
No, it is. No, I don't. Well, this has to do with how you understand Islas Hashem.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, and it's hard. We tried going to that sugya once. Rindy and I once did. We wanted the sugya of Avera Lishma, and then Islas Hashem, and whether they're actually like what their status is, And there's only. Are there any other cases of Islas other than writing down Torah Peh that you can think of? Yeah, so I think we abandoned the project before we went into it, but that was one of the problems. Is like there's this one case, but yeah, yeah.
I think the Gemara in Brachos has another case.
Oh yeah, I could look it up in Encyclopedia Talmudic probably, but all right.
I know where to find it.
All right. Well, I want to. I'm gonna. Yeah, we're almost finished with this one today anyway. All right. Val Derech. Oh, so I interrupted the sentence. Val Derech Hados is in Gimel 4. In this manner, im tivu kol hanavim lavor lefisha mitzvah lishmoahen. If all the navim, I don't know why it has to go that far, command us to transgress temporarily mitzvah lishmoahen, it's mitzvah to listen to them. The im amru shadavar nakar laolam. So now he's also using nakar. I agree that the connotation of nakar is forever. If he says that it's nakar forever, misazid l'chedek, then you execute them with chedek. Torah amra lanu l'vanenu alalam. V'chein im akar davar midvarim shalamadnu mipi hashmua. So too, if they uproot something that was learned by Torah Peh, Osh Amar B'din Midine Torah, She'ad Hashem Tziva Lo She'ad Din Kachu, or if he says in one of the dinim of Torah that God commanded him that the din should be such, the halacha k'divrei ploni, and we paskin like ploni. So meaning if he tries to use nevuah to paskin, right? So then harizen navi sheker, then that is navi sheker v'yechanek, and he is choked, he's strangled. Apal pish asa os. Here they throw that in, even though he did a sign, Shari Bala Hachish Torah Shamra Lo Bashmaim Hi, because he's coming to undermine Torah that says Lo Bashmaim Hi, which is a different application of Lo Bashmaim Hi than the first one he quoted, because that was L'Chadesh Davar. This guy's not being L'Chadesh Davar, he's just telling us how to paskin. Aval Lefisha Shomin Lo Bakol, but not really Bakol because not a Vodazara, but right Lefisha, then you can listen to it with everything.
We say it's also just by discussion of whether when Boaz greet the workers with Shem Hashem. Question whether that was Islas.
You greet them with Shem? I thought
that
was
them because there was some like temporary Torah of like maybe people were like.
Oh yeah, weird.
Yeah.
I always thought that was the standard that everyone used to greet people with Shem Hashem, but I didn't
realize.
Yeah,
well, I think maybe they have. I don't know if it's like. Yeah.
Interesting. But maybe Murim. Oh, now he says it. Oh, did he not say the Vodazara thing before?
No.
Oh. Did he say in the Sefer Mitzvos? I feel like we read this today. Or maybe I just.
I think.
All
Yeah,
right.
maybe it is.
All right. I don't know. It's not important to figure out whether I'm losing my memory.
Yeah.
What about me blinking out an entire conversation?
Which conversation?
Oh, good one.
That was serious. Well, maybe we are moving.
Conversation.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know what happened there.
He didn't mention about.
Okay, fine. So I just had it in my mind then. The charm mitzvos. That's about the other mitzvos. But Vodazara ain't shoming la afilu l'fisha. But by other mitzvos, by Vodazara, we don't listen to him even for temporary means. Afilu asa osos umosim gedolim. Even if he did, again he stresses it. Even if he did great signs and wonders. Of Amar Shadashem Tzivahu She'Abed Avodah Hayom Bilvad or B'Shar Zo Bilvad, and he said that God commanded him to worship Avodah Zarah today alone or just for this hour. Harzeh Dibir Sara al Hashem. So that's weird. Then he's speaking blasphemy on Hashem. Yeah.
Maybe the reason he's just about the emphasizing that is like there's a tendency to be like wowed by miracles.
Yeah.
Especially if a person's doing like incredible things.
Yeah.
And so he's reinforcing this, not just that the degree of like incredibleness of what the person's doing doesn't
Yeah.
matter.
Yeah, and the Pesukim say it because I think he quotes here also. The Alzeh Tiva Hakasav Amar, that's what the pasuk commands and says, Uvah Osva Movis, lo tishma el divrei Naviyahu, ki divrei Torah Hashem elokechem. So that's like, that is the very case that no matter how many miracles he does, don't listen to him because God is testing you.
I see.
Shahari ba lahachlish nevuas of Moshe. He's coming to undermine the nevuah of Moshe. L'fikach neda bevadai shu navi sheker. And therefore we know that he's definitely a navi sheker. So that is yeda bevadai, different than when he said above harizen navi sheker. Harizen navi sheker, maybe you can say is like halachically we paskin that is navi sheker. But if he's telling you to worship Avodah Zarah, then that's vadai navi sheker. Then God's definitely not telling him to do that because that's the culture of kula. And everything he did, balat v'kishavasa, he did through trickery, v'yefane, and he gets strangled. Yeah.
Again, nonchalant.
Yes. Yeah. So I think what we should do tomorrow is we also have to do. We forgot to do the Yesod of Torah Min Hashemayim and Torah Min Hashemayim. Did we not do that?
No.
And then we also didn't do the Torah not being modified.
Mm-hmm.
And then we could do the Sefer mitzvos on not testing Hashem, and then do Pirak Yod. So that should take us 2 days probably.
What about
and then the Pirush Mishnah thing. Yeah, that'll fill the week. Those will be good. Yeah.
You had a question you wanted someone.
That if we have time, that if we have time. Okay, good. Let's stop here for today. I gotta.